The first recorded black rebellion in what would become the United States wasn't a massive uprising like Nat Turner's famous revolt in 1831. It happened much earlier, in the shadows of forgotten history, when a group of enslaved Africans refused to accept chains in a place few remember today. It's the year 1526. Christopher Columbus's dream of empire still echoes across the Atlantic. A Spanish explorer named Lucas Vázquez de Ayllón sets sail with about 600 people, men, women, children, and around 100 enslaved Africans, to establish a colony called San Miguel de Gualdape. This short-lived settlement sits along the coast of what we now call Georgia or South Carolina, the first European attempt at a permanent foothold in what would later be the continental United States. Disease strikes hard. Supplies run low. The leader, Ayllón, dies in October. Chaos erupts among the survivors, fights over whether to stay or flee back to Hispaniola. In the midst of this despair, the enslaved Africans see their moment. In mid to late October 1526, they rise up. They burn the colonists' homes, set fire to the fragile structures of oppression, and escape into the wilderness. Many find refuge among nearby native nations like the Guale people, forging early bonds of solidarity against European invaders. The rebellion helps doom the colony entirely. The remaining settlers abandon the site and sail away, never to return. This act of defiance marks the very first recorded rebellion by enslaved Africans on soil that would one day become part of America, nearly 100 years before the first permanent English settlement at Jamestown, and over 300 years before the Civil War era's more famous uprisings. Why does this story matter? Because it shatters the myth that enslaved people passively accepted their fate. From the moment Africans were forced onto these shores, resistance began. This wasn't organized by a single named leader we can point to. History doesn't record one individual's name as the spark, but a collective stand by people who had endured the Middle Passage, who remembered freedom in Africa, and who chose fire and flight over submission. Their courage echoes through centuries of struggle. Fast forward to the British colonies, where slavery takes deeper root. By the 1730s, South Carolina's rice plantations depend on thousands of enslaved Africans, many from Angola and the Kingdom of Congo, regions with strong warrior traditions. Rumors spread of freedom in Spanish Florida, where the king promises liberty to any enslaved person who reaches St. Augustine. Tensions boil. Then comes September 9th, 1739, a Sunday, a rare day off. Near the Stono River, about 20 miles from Charleston, a literate enslaved man named Jemmy, sometimes called Cato in records, originally from Angola, gathers a small band. These men, possibly former soldiers, arm themselves with military skill and unyielding will. They march to a nearby store, seize guns and ammunition, and kill the two white shopkeepers. Shouting liberty, they press on, burning homes and recruiting more as they go. Their numbers swell to nearly 100. They target plantations, killing enslavers in their path, driven by a dream of reaching Florida and freedom. The rebellion spreads terror. Lieutenant Governor William Bull, riding nearby with friends, hears the chaos and rallies a militia. In a brutal clash, the militia confronts the rebels. Dozens fall. Estimates say about 20 to 44 enslaved people killed, with others executed later. Jemmy and his followers fight fiercely, but are overwhelmed. The uprising ends, but its impact ripples outward. South Carolina passes the Negro Act of 1740, tightening controls on enslaved people. No more assembly, no literacy, harsher punishments to crush future sparks. Yet the fire never fully dies. This Stono rebellion, the largest in the 13 colonies before the Revolution, inspires whispers of resistance. It leads to others: the New York conspiracies, Gabriel's plot in 1800, Denmark Vesey's in 1822, and Nat Turner's in 1831, the bloodiest of them all, where an enslaved preacher, guided by visions he believed came from God, leads dozens in killing over 50 white people before the militia crushes them. But let's return to that first flame in 1526. It reminds us that Black rebellion in America didn't start with famous names or grand battles. It started with ordinary people, stolen from their homes, who looked at their chains and said no. They burned what held them and ran toward the unknown, proving that the desire for freedom is as old as oppression itself. These stories of the unnamed in 1526, of Jemmy in 1739, and all who followed are threads in the long tapestry of Black history in America. They show not just suffering, but unbreakable spirit. Resistance wasn't rare, it was constant, and every act, no matter how small or swiftly crushed, chipped away at the system until it finally broke. So next time you hear about Black history, remember, it didn't begin with a rival in chains. It began with the courage to fight back, right from the start.